So it's the end of the school holidays and I've been busy doing many things. With work and kids, things just keep moving really fast. Monday is coming up and it's going to be back to waking up early and getting my kid ready for school. So I thought before that happens, I'll just gather my thoughts in a comic diary and write down what me and my family have been doing. But before that, let me show you something. These are my new art tools. They are empty paint markers that I found on AliExpress. They come in many sizes. The 10 and 15 mm size feels most comfortable for me, not too big and not too small. And the best thing about these markers, I can fill them with any kind of ink I want. So these are the parts. Pump action nib with a valve, agitators inside, and this is how I fill it. I'm using inexpensive food coloring from the supermarket, just brown and primary colors. If you're going to use these, make sure that the bottle doesn't say paste, it just says color. With these, I think I can mix pretty much any kind of colors I want. Why don't I just buy ready-made color markers? I just find it fun to customize my art tools, and I don't have to keep buying new markers when they dry out. With this, I can get exactly the right shade of color I want. So I just pump it a few times to wet the nib, and here we go. So this is a warm color, and I'm going to make a cool color. Adding some brown, diluting it with water, getting the right shade. This dye is rather staining, so I don't want to get it on my hands. These markers can hold lots of ink, so there's little worry about it running out, and it's pretty cheap to refill with food coloring. Just that it can be a little messy. I made these 3 colors, and what I find cool is that if I use a different color to go over another color, I get another color. Oh yeah, if I make it too wet and rub too hard, the paper might start to wear down. That's one downside. So I'm going to try to use these markers to do this comic diary. So this is what I did during the school holidays. I'm using a leftover template from a workshop I did recently. Anyways, it's morning and usually that's the best time to do this. I'm just gonna let my thoughts run, just thinking back on a month's worth of adventures. One thing definitely stands out. I could wake up a lot later, like watch TV until really late at night, though I don't think that's a good thing. Sleep is important. I'm no expert in using markers, but I'm going to try to use it for this comic. Trying unfamiliar things forces me to learn new things. I'm right now feeling the pressure. Like, can I pull this off? So I've got to remind myself to don't care. As in, don't care about the outcome. Will it amaze you guys or not? I'm just going to do it for myself. Okay, so I'm just starting out with the lightest color. I am almost treating it like a rough underdrawing, light enough that I can correct or define things later with a darker midtone. Blue is my darker midtone. I'm gonna do the darker part of the nose, darker side of the head, because the light's coming from one side, and the shadows. Some patterns on the blanket. Oh, by the way, I sleep with industrial earmuffs because small noises will wake me up. One problem is that I can't sleep on my side when I'm wearing the earmuffs. Let's just use this red to add some color. Maybe the sun is coming in, so I'll shadow the side of this face. Add more shadows, and then define the details with my black pen. Although I'm trying not to care so much, I feel that I was trying too hard. I like it to be more simple. Sometimes this happens. Start a comic. I'm just gonna start again. And this time, I'm going to stick with it and finish it regardless of what happens. Well, I do feel more warmed up. Hold up. I'm writing June 2 times. Okay, one last time. Okay, just think spontaneous. No one cares. Do it for myself. Keep it meaningful. No template this time. I'm just gonna narrate like I'm talking to a good friend. as casually as possible. I'm just going to elaborate a bit more than the previous try. Me sleeping with earmuffs, red for the nose. Gonna try to keep it minimal. And I'm not gonna be so strict with my order of coloring. Switching the outlines here. I need to put the blanket. I forgot to leave space for it. It's an important clue to communicate that he's in bed. Switching back to midtones. Whatever works. It's not amazing, but it's good enough, so I'm going with good enough. Now, what else did I do? I was conducting some workshops on comic diaries, and this one was for the Singapore Art Museum. It was part of a pop-up exhibition, and the workshop was held in a mall. It looked something like this. With so many details, I'm doing the color first and then the lines, as you have seen me do in my other videos. This works for an imaginative drawing as well as for urban sketching. So I'm basically using the colors to just define the big overall shapes. And then adding some outlines to define more details. I find that's a rather relaxing way to draw, and the result often ends up looking rather loose, which is suitable for a spontaneous comic diary. Another thing I've been doing this month, I recently bought a camera and I've been taking lots of pictures. As an illustrator, why did I buy a camera? Yep, new toy. Wait, hold on, let's just add some black areas to these panels. This helps with contrast. If not, everything will just feel really floaty. So back to cameras. After getting it, I realized there was lots to learn about bokeh, separation, aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Things I don't normally think about when I use my iPhone. And some crossovers with illustration like composition and colors. Although it's a different art form from drawing and illustration, I think it helps train my eye to see things in fresh ways. And I think it'll help make me a better artist and storyteller. Good enough justification for a new toy? I think so. I'm gonna put this shadow under this hat. As you can see, I'm just using 3 colors and black and white. One worry I had after getting the camera, will I like it more than drawing? I think it's good to communicate some emotions in a comic. I'm finding that we humans tend to connect with emotions more than just facts. I guess it also builds some drama into the story. So I've done the colored shapes first, and now I'm just adding in the details using black lines. I think I'll just complete this camera topic with one more panel. I found similarities between buying camera gear and fountain pens. Yep, I bought a few lenses this month. Just the basic prime lenses, so I could get nicer blurring. I noticed that chasing after nice blurring is like chasing after fountain pens with amazing flex. Maybe I could add some details in white here. Somehow it's not really working. I'll just move on. But like the experts say, the gear is not the most important. It's learning the skill and the principles behind the art form. So I think I'm stopping here with the lenses for now. I brought my daughter to watch a movie during a weekday afternoon, and this often happens. Some people beside me or behind me would be talking during the movie, like commenting on the movie, and that would usually pull me out from the movie experience, and I would just feel compelled to politely tell them to quieten down a bit. Of course, I mean, stop talking altogether. That would be best. But this time I just bared with it because they weren't talking too loudly, and before I wanted to speak up, they would stop talking and then do it again and then stop talking. We had old friends over for dinner, and we played Uno Flip. This is me playing with the kids. I found it nice to play a physical game and move away from screens and just talk. And since I got a new camera, I went on a photo walk with my friend Brandon, who is a professional videographer. We went on a photo walk with our daughters. It's kind of like an urban sketch walk, but with cameras instead. I passed Ollie my older camera, and these were her pictures. And it was refreshing just doing something different for a change. Brandon called it a mini adventure. Just looking through the comic, seeing what can be touched up, adding some texture, but making sure not to overdo it. I know what to do about the lenses. I'm using bleed-proof white and I'm adding the numbers for the lenses. So this is one thing that makes art really fun for me. I could keep practicing and perfecting techniques like making my drawings look more lifelike or more accurate or have nicer lines. And I think that's needful to some degree. I'm always still learning how to draw better. But what gives me most satisfaction is using art to tell stories. And here I'm telling stories for myself and maybe for others too. Looking back, it will remind myself what I did in the past, how I thought about buying new toys and the reasons behind them. And these are things that me or others can learn from. The things I used to do with my daughter before she becomes a teenager and maybe just want to hang out with her friends. And the one with the Uno reminds me to do simple things again, like playing card games. And the last one would remind me of things I could actually do, supposing if I wanted some interesting ideas on what to do over a weekend with friends. So this was my June holidays. I hope this inspires you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.